Hi guys, I'm so excited for today's video because I got a package yesterday. I knew this was coming. I didn't know what it was, but I knew this was coming. And this is the collaboration between Theresa is Dead and Lethal Cosmetics. Now they have done a collab before in the past. I own that one as well and I love it. Congratulations Theresa on another wonderful collab. We're going to be playing with this today. Honestly, I don't have a lot of time right now. I'm not going to include swatches, but she did an amazing reveal video showing swatches of everything that is in the collection. It was like a 10-minute video. Go check out her video because you'll get a lot more from that than you will from me. But I'm gonna do a look with the palette. I don't have time to do multiple looks with this. I have so many things that have come in lately, and my Pat McGrath palette is supposed to get here tomorrow. So sorry, Theresa, but Pat's getting priority here. I'm sure you understand, but this is also a beautiful palette, and this is the palette that we're going to be using today. So I'm really excited. I will say when I first saw the color story, I was a little bit stumped. I'm like, what do I do with this? But after having swatched it out myself and kind of like looking at it, it definitely makes a little bit more sense. So we're just gonna try to do a fun look with that. The collection also has 4 face products in it. We have 2 highlighters, I actually haven't swatched these for myself. This just looks to be an icy white, a kind of iridescent green. Then there's 2 blushes that are sort of that shimmery blush formula. There's a purple as well as this shade, which is probably the one that I'm going to be using today. I'm not sure how these highlighters are going to work for me because like Theresa says herself, she is uncooked chicken. I am not. So they might be a little bit too light for me. I'm not sure. The collection also comes with 2 of Lethal's gel eyeliners. Now, when I first tried the eyeliners from Lethal, I loved them. They were like my absolute favorite formula of gel liner of all time. But having basically had their whole collection sent to me over time, I realized that these dry out so fast. So if you plan on buying these, prepare for these to only last for like 6 months tops, I would say, and they're super hard to revive once they go kind of dry. Like, I've tried everything, trust me. Like, you don't need to tell me to try Duraline, you don't have to try, just don't. I've tried everything. All of my other eyeliners basically from Lethal have ended up in the trash because I haven't been able to use them. So just a forewarning. If you plan on getting these, they're not going to last forever. I don't know if they have updated their formula at all, but I'm going to assume that it is the same. So I'm not going to open both of these. I'm going to use one of them in the look depending on which one is going to look the best. So let's just go ahead and start with the face product. So I'm going to use this blush right here because I think it's going to look beautiful. I'm just going to take a brush and kind of swirl because I know that I want to mix everything together here. So I feel like this is going to be a very, very pretty. Okay, that is actually maybe a little too light for me. I don't know if it's just an overspray in here. It kind of does look like it. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of mix this nice and together because I felt like I got way too much of that silvery shade on its own and that did not look good. So that looks a lot better. Like, do you see that I have kind of a gray cast on my face here? I would say just make sure that you get it all. Yeah, that looks so much better. Mix together before you go in, especially if you are a little bit darker than Theresa. I kind of wish that they had sort of swirled it all together beforehand so that you don't have that first experience because that did not look good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this on, but this is a beautiful color once you get these mixed together. That looks really, really nice. And I also like about the kind of glowy blush formula from Lethal is that it's not super glowy because I am not a fan of super glowy products on my oily skin because throughout the day it just ends up looking way too glowy. So I appreciate a formula that is like glowy without being too glowy, but I still have sort of that streak there from one of the silver strands in the that's the wrong word, streak in the blush on my first application. But I think that as soon as I put some highlighter over the top of this, it's gonna blend together nicely anyway. Now, I really am not sure if I'm going to be able to use this highlighter. I think it's going to be too light for me. I'm going to use a very fluffy brush and just going very lightly. This one is from Unicorn Cosmetics. Okay, that picks up a lot. I really don't want a lot of this because I just feel like it's going to be... That is way too icy. I don't even know if I want to blend that out. Yeah, that is very, very icy. I already had a feeling going into this that the highlighters would not be my absolute favorite. I definitely prefer something that isn't like white based on my personal skin tone, so I'm not gonna put on any more than that. I'm just gonna tap over a little bit more with my blush. Like, I totally understand why Theresa made these colors, because these are the colors that suit her. So obviously she wants to make something that's going to work very well for her, that she wants to wear. So just personal preference and skin tone related. So I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyes, and we're gonna do a look with this palette. I really have no clue what I want to do. So I feel like my plan might be kind of weird, but I keep staring at this and I really want to use all of these three shades together with the dark purple and the silver. Is that gonna turn out good? I have no idea, but we're gonna try it anyway. I'm just gonna tap up my primer here. Like I said before, I do not have a ton of time today, so let's try not to overcomplicate this, Annette, because otherwise you're gonna be in trouble. I'm gonna start with this shade here, and I'm gonna use that as my kind of front of the crease shade. I'm just gonna tap this in. That's a really cute shade. I love green shades like this, and this is performing very, very well. I'm just gonna kind of put down the shades where it is that I want them to be first, and then I'll go in and do some extra blending in the end, but I just wanna see if my vision makes any sense first. So I'm gonna take the shade called Specimen 3, and I'm gonna use that as my outer crease shade, and I'll probably deepen it up with the purple. So I'm gonna try not to pull this onto my lid at all, because I don't wanna mix the purple in with the green too much. I don't want them to get muddy, but mixing a green into a green is obviously gonna work very nicely. This is a really cute color as well. I really like all of these colors that she chose individually. I'm not sure I would have chosen them to go together, but I do see, like, the more I look at this palette, the more I kind of see looks that I could do with it, and I do feel like it's a very interesting and different color story. It's definitely not something that I've ever seen before. Just trust the process. I will start blending more after. I'm gonna next go in with the dark purple. This one is called Plutonian, and I'm gonna basically just pack that on the outer corner of my eye as my deepening shade, and this should blend pretty nicely into the dark green as well, because it is more of like that teal color, and I don't think that these are going to end up getting muddy at all. I've just been using the same brush the whole time. This one is from Sigma. I just kind of grabbed whatever was clean in front of me. This is the E27. I do like this brush. I feel like I definitely don't use it often enough, because it's a really nice kind of versatile brush. You can use it for a lot of different things. The shade definitely does take a little bit of building up, but it does seem to be building pretty nicely on itself. I'm gonna run this underneath my eye as well, at least in the outer portion, just so I can connect the outer corner shade with this one. I'm just blending this out in a little bit of a wing shape on the outer corner here. Before I do the shimmers, I'm gonna put on some of my trusty NYX glitter primer, because it's just what I do now. And I'm gonna start with a shade called Space Trash, which reminds me so much of the shade that I had in my collaboration palette with Udensai, but I feel like this one is gonna be a little bit more opaque than the one that I had in my palette, but the shift is pretty much exactly the same. So if you missed out on my collab palette and you really wanted that shade, you might like this one. So I'm just gonna put that basically on the outer half of my lid or so. This is so beautiful. I mean, I'm biased, but it's still a very, very beautiful shade. Next, I'm gonna take the silver shade, which is called TV Dinner. That is such a funny name. And I'm just gonna put that in the front portion here. This one is so beautiful and sparkly. Like, I love a good silver eyeshadow, and I'm so happy that she put this in here. Wow, that is so stunning. I kind of wish I just put this all over my lid, because is this my new favorite silver eyeshadow? Wow, it very well might be, and I have a lot of good silvers in my collection. I feel like silver is one of those colors that pretty much every brand seems to excel at and are able to make a beautiful silver, but oh my god, how sparkly this is. Oh, I love that. I think this is basically where I'm going to leave it with the look. So I'm gonna just finish off real quick. Actually, I'm gonna take a bit more of the shade Space Trash, which was the blue, and I'm just gonna put that on the front portion of my lower lash line. And then, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and finish off. I will do a little bit more blending just to kind of perfect the edges, but this is going to be pretty much the look. Okay, and here is the final look. I love how this turned out. Can I just say, this is so fun. I did use one of the eyeliners. I totally forgot to do that before my camera shut off, but I used a shade here called Galactic Goo. It's just a dark green, and I used that on my top. I didn't really do a wing or anything. I just did like kind of a thick line. I did put on some lashes. I'm using the Allura Light from House of Lashes. I saw this box in my drawer and I saw these lashes and I was like, wait, I've worn these ones and I remember liking them, and I really do like them. Like, these look beautiful and they're so easy to put on as well. Let's see, in my waterline I'm using Prance from ColourPop. No surprise there. Let's talk about these products though. Honestly, I feel like I like the palette color story wise a lot more after using it than I thought I would. I was a little bit confused in the beginning, didn't really know what to do with it, but I feel like it's the kind of palette you just kind of need to get to know a little bit before you can really appreciate what it can do for you. And that's basically how I feel about it. I think so far the formulas have been wonderful. I mean, I love that silver is so beautiful and so sparkly and so ethereal. I probably should have switched out my earrings because they definitely don't go with this look now, but I love this look. I think it is beautiful. I do think that the face products maybe aren't my absolute favorites. I do think I like the blush now after my bad kind of first experience with it. I don't know if I'm gonna be using the purple. Purple blush isn't really like my absolute favorite, and I think that the highlighters are too light for me to be highlighters. I did use the green as my brow bone highlight, and I think that looks beautiful, so I can definitely use them like that. But I think for the face, I don't think these are made for someone with my skin tone, which I'm usually like a light to a light medium in foundations, and I also just don't like highlighters that are too light on me. But I know a lot of people don't mind that at all and they want to be seen from space like Theresa does, and I totally understand that. But yeah, I don't know if they're necessarily for me, but if you are interested in picking any of these up, I do have a 10% off affiliate code with Lethal. I think it's just Annette. It's not affiliated, but it will save you a little bit of money. So yeah, congratulations to both Lethal and to Theresa for making a super, super fun collection. I'm so happy to have this in my collection, and I absolutely would have bought it myself if I wasn't sent it, because I love supporting collabs, especially with people that I watch myself that I really like. And yeah, I think this is just super fun. So again, congratulations. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, if you want to see some more Lethal Cosmetics content, I do have a playlist. I'll put that right there. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.